Awesome. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I was looking at my roots this morning, actually, and how gray they were. You're so sweet. Hello, everybody. I am going to just post the Zoom link in as soon as it shows me live. There we go. It shows me live. I get to talk to myself. Okay. Putting the Zoom link in. And now we can have some fun. Margie's in the house. Welcome, Margie. All right. Just pulling up this chat. Okay. I think I am good to go here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Friday night webinars. I was feeling very inspired this week to talk a little bit about really rewiring our brain. I talked a little bit about it in our group on Wednesday, talked about the different states, the brain states, things like this. And I thought it would be kind of nice to first just kind of go through a little bit of an astrological forecast. I'm not going to do day by day because what I'm finding is that so many people have these shifts going on, but it's within a couple of days, within a couple of days of each other, that it's all happening. But what tends to happen is, especially right now, get myself on screen there, especially right now, this is a really sort of intense astrological month. This full moon in Gemini that we have coming up at the end of the month is set to be a little bit, well, it's a little bit more fun and playful and chatty and, sort of social like Gemini is. But the new moon that we have happening, we have a new moon happening kind of at the beginning of the month. And what I find that happens when we have a new moon that is going to be in Scorpio. Welcome, Shar. Thanks for being here. I'm just going to throw everybody on mute so that it doesn't have background noise. I'm just getting started talking a little bit about the astrological stuff that's going on. Anybody who knows me, I'm always like, oh, it's a full moon coming up. It's this coming up. It's that coming up. And what I found in looking at all the charts for this month coming up, it was really kind of wild how many things corresponded all the way down through, like when you look at different, you can look at natal charts basically for different countries, for different areas, and all sort of in the Middle East, in Jerusalem, in Israel, and all these areas, there's like these direct astrological lines going through that are huge as far as disruption of power and changeover. And we can really see that going on just with what's been going on around the world over the last couple of months. And it's kind of coming to a bit of a head this month. And when they look back and they do natal charts for series of years, and they go back and they kind of look, this last time we had this astrological lineup in these areas, there was huge things going on. Like one of them was in 1939 when it was all through Europe like this. This was the start of major world wars. This was huge times. This was also the start of when nuclear fusion, when it was announced, was like this sort of same exact structure that we're going to have around this new moon in the middle of the month. So normally new moons are really great about what we want to bring in. But it was really interesting in looking at the charts around the world as to these really huge, impactful changes that are going on, especially around nuclear energy and around all these things. So, keep your eyes and ears open. You'll notice some of these things just kind of popping in, so that it's not a huge shock that nuclear bombs are being exchanged here and there, and things are going on. It's almost like this was kind of in the charts in a way. And so what we can do is hold attention and hold intention for leaders to make peaceful decisions, um, for energies to be able to work together to create the most peace in the world. And this is kind of why we're here tonight, is to be able to create more good energy in the world, right? To be able to collectively send prayers, send energy to where is needed. And I don't often do this, but I was guided today because I want to do a meditation where we are going to channel in some angel guides today. We're going to just ask for, our support team to be with us. And so I went into my Ascended Masters cards, which are really fun. Often we'll get, Saint Germain or Archangel Michael or something like that comes up. And I found it really interesting, the cards that I pulled, because one of the first ones that I pulled was the Teacher. And that is this card here, the Teacher. And it's actually pronounced Maha Kohan Rago Casey. And this Teacher is essentially the card. What it says is about learning and teaching. You've learned a lot from your experiences and relationships, and now it's time to pass that knowledge along to others. Your current situation is bringing you opportunities for spiritual growth and teaching you some important life lessons. As soon as you understand and accept these lessons, the old patterns will drop away and be replaced by wonderful new experiences. And I thought, what a great way to rewire the brain by simply allowing ourselves to be the teachers that we maybe know that we are. And a lot of you that I have been working with over the last couple of years, it's kind of like this. We've come to a point where we actually, I think, know enough to be able to help teach some others that maybe on this path that I was speaking about last week and into this week in the group sessions, as far as people are kind of having breakdowns or breakthroughs right now. And those people that are having those breakdowns that aren't really choosing to, I love it. Thanks, Nikki. Those people that aren't really choosing to become awake, to become in connection with what is really going on, what they're feeling, what these things that have been coming up. I mean, I've heard a lot this week, like, this is keeping me up at night. Like, I haven't thought about this for years, or all of a sudden I found myself last night going back to a time. And what's really neat is because I sort of allowed myself to go there and feel through, I can't even remember what it was now. And this is what happens when, even when I'm coaching and talking to people, as we talk about things, as they're reconceptualizing and reperceptualizing what is going on and what has been going on, they almost forget what they were talking about, because that stream of thought is already being broken by that reperceptualization and reconceptualization. You're already doing that healing. It's already changing in your brain. So you're not seeing it the same. So you can't even speak about it the same. And so I noticed, I was like, where did that come from? Why am I even thinking about these people? And it was like from school or something. Like, it was crazy. But it was, when I didn't act as mature as I could have, or I didn't perhaps take the higher ground, or I maybe could sort of redo things a little bit differently. And it's really cool. The last time that Saturn was where it is in Pisces, this was like in 1993, in 1994. This is like 30 years ago. And what really kind of blew me away in all that connection was that it sort of went back to that time that this healing was happening. I didn't even really realize when I was looking at the charts today. I was like, geez, this was 1993, the last time things were like this. And I was trying to pull up that memory that I was dealing with last night and literally couldn't. But a lot of people have been having these thoughts, like they're going into that, that theta state right before you start to fall asleep. And the subconscious is allowing things to come up, to be cleared and to be healed. And so these things that kind of keep us awake at night, or that are popping into our brains before we're falling asleep, or maybe even are these things that we're thinking about as we're sort of waking, they may be just these things that are truly able to come up and be felt and be heard and be healed right now. So don't push them away. Allow these thoughts to come through. Think about it a little bit, and maybe look at how Now you could possibly react a little bit differently. Maybe you're going through the same sort of situation with different groups of people in your life. Maybe you're going through some kind of scenario where we could just act a little bit differently, where we could take that higher ground, where we could make a higher intentioned conscious choice about what it is that we are trying to create. Are we wanting to be right, or are we wanting to be happy? Are we wanting to be um, reacting from fear and just not paying attention, or are we going to respond, take a bit of a breath and kind of decide how we're going to respond to allow the conversation, allow things to sort of flow as they need to. Good evening, Chris. Welcome. So yeah, rewiring the brain. So nice to see you. I'm talking about, that's really cool. 1990, it's a big year. I actually graduated that year too. Lots of things were happening, right? Just that tip of the iceberg. So in our meditation tonight, we're actually going to go up to a mountaintop and allow some of these things that are underneath those layers of the iceberg to be healed and to be cleaned and cleared and clear our energy fields a little bit. And that was when I pulled the clear and shield your energy card, which was really neat, Moira. And that one is the basic version, is that you've absorbed some harsh or toxic energy as a sensitive person from other people. And this card asks you to stop and call on Elmoira and Archangel Michael to help clear yourself. They can also clear and elevate your energies in other people, your home, your office. After clearing yourself, ask them to shield you from further intrusions. This process, called shielding, needs to be conducted once or twice a day. You could perhaps wear a crystal, set intention, do a little bit of cleaning and clearing. Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome, Chris. I love it. I was saying the way things are astrologically right now, 1993, 1994 was sort of the last time that it was that Saturn was stationed direct like this. And it's really quite amazing because it brings up this opportunity to kind of do things in a bit of a more mature way. Now we know what we know, right? Now we can kind of make these choices moving forward. So I like being able to kind of pinpoint to where it last happened. The next card that I pulled was yoga. And I thought that was really cool because I was talking a lot about, and this is Babaji. Babaji is basically the original yogi who apparently took life form. And so people still see him walking around the streets of India and different places. He's been spotted. He's apparently the one that ended up teaching Yogananda, or sort of creating this in the first place. So just talking about how yoga can really help to move energy through the body. And one of the things that I wanted to talk a little bit about today was the Kundalini energy, the kind of Kundalini awakening energy that's happening now as a collective, because this last full moon was all about root chakra healing and allowing the root to kind of open up. And for some people, they think that a Kundalini awakening is like this major thing where all of a sudden everything is unleashed. But really what it is calling in that want, or that intention to allow this energy in this little cask, or in this little vase that's sort of, lodged down deep in the root chakra. And once we allow our root chakra to do a little bit of healing, and once this shifting starts to happen, it can actually, you can almost feel it. Some people have felt like an effervescence type of thing move through, or almost like bubbles kind of move through that area. Some people feel it as more electric. Some people feel it come along their whole spine and just zap them. Some people feel it much more intensely. But yoga, and one of the things that I thought that I would do is actually, I was hoping to next week, if things align, if the stars align, I'd like to do a video of the 7 yoga poses that help each chakra release. I know I've talked about it before and I've kind of brushed over it, but to actually show you and do those yoga poses that allow those chakras to sort of open, I think like it might be just the perfect timing for that. So I loved that I pulled the yoga card. And the last one was balance, career, and home life. And that it's basically talking about, what is already out of balance. You kind of have been getting inklings lately of those things that are causing burnout, those things that are pushing you over the edge a little bit. And that is because Saturn is kind of calling us out on disempowerment. It's this full moon next month is going to kind of show where our vibration is, if we've been walking our talk, if we've been doing the things that we've been sort of setting out to do. And the last time that March, or the last, when Saturn started to kind of station into Pisces, was in March. And so we started kind of getting these insights to do things in the spring. We kind of really wanted to. By this full moon at the end of the month, this month, if we haven't been really doing those things, or if we are in that disempowered state, if we are in that breakdown state, we're going to wind up at the end of the month really sort of feeling like beating ourselves up a little bit, like things didn't really go quite how we had planned it to. And it's going to be extra hard. It's going to be a little extra aggressive. So the people that are kind of going through the breakthrough point where they're realizing, now Saturn energy is kind of like volunteerism. Where have I been doing too much? Where have I been sacrificing? Where have I been giving too much of myself and not receiving? Where has this imbalance really been, where I'm pushing too much and not allowing? It's going to be really shown to us. And Saturn can be what we call the school of hard knocks, where it's like, it don't feel so good getting to that point, and having that energy kind of thrown back at us. So this gives us a real weather forecast of this month to make those changes, to not have to have this tumultuous energy near the end of the month, that we can actually be one of those people that are sort of coasting through it a little bit and feeling empowered, because we're taking what has come up and actually acting upon it. We're actually taking into account what our intuition has been telling us. It may be that your intuition has kind of been yelling at you even a little bit about sleep, or about, trying to achieve something. Some people are really, I really want to create more health and wellness in my life. I just really want to feel that. But we're not taking those action steps to, like, we're waking up and literally doing that same thing over and over again. So this is why I wanted to talk a little bit more about rewiring the brain. One of the suggestions that I gave in my class on Wednesday was to have a little documentation, or a little record of all of the really cool things that happen during the day. And I try and stay in my bubble. People that know me know I like to kind of stay at home, stay in my bubble. Going out a lot into all the energies of the world can be very overwhelming sometimes, but there's certain days where it happens. And I mean, most days I'm out doing things. However, what I noticed today, because since Wednesday, and it's only Friday, I've been doing this, I've been documenting, I've been taking selfies in my brain, because a lot of the times I'm driving, so these things that are happening, I can't just grab my phone and take a picture. But even today, I was talking with someone on the phone as I was pulling into a parking lot, and the parking lot was crazy, and I just kept this good vibe, and I was like, I'm just going to find the perfect spot. And as I just finished my phone call, I pulled around, and I had like literally the closest spot to the door. I looked over and I saw the enter exit sign was right there. And I was like, well, that was easy. That was fun. Like, it was almost like I could laugh, because it was like, it was so quick and so finely shown to me. It was just like, this was, and it's something so small, a parking spot, right? But then on the way home, I was driving past where my husband got in his accident last week, and I was driving along, and just as I drove over the exact spot where he got hit, this big bald eagle flew right over top. And this is like on a freeway. Like, it's not where I've ever seen an eagle before, but to me, eagles are very representative of my mom and protection and love. And whenever I'm having a really amazing day, I see an eagle. And this is just one of those things that pops up, and it was like, there she is, just flying right above my car. And it was like, oh, goosebumps everywhere. And then I was like, oh, I can't wait to see more. Like it was just like that moment where, oh, I loved that. Oh, show me more, and it was just so beautiful. And then I was so intently looking for wildlife on a freeway that I was distracting myself with it. And then I sort of got to some other thoughts as I was getting more into the country. And as I was getting closer to home, this mama deer and her baby just hopped out on the road, and I was going slow, and I just kind of slowed down and stopped, and I went to go grab my phone to take a picture. Of course, they ran off by that point, and it was just so beautiful. And it was like, oh, that was so amazing. Just these little things, and feeling that has just come so easily, even after just a couple of days of looking for those wonderful things, noticing, taking note in one way or the other, writing it down, taking a picture, keeping a log of all the amazing, wonderful things that happen. This is how to retrain the brain, because what we know is that the subconscious is going to run 95% of your day, and your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. It's going to be running the show. And that subconscious is basically trained by the time we're 7 years old. So it's running on old patterns. It's running on a default, for lack of better words. It's running on a default program. And if we're not changing that program, if we're not upgrading that program, if we're not dialing in that program, what happens is your neocortex, which is where you have this sort of high functioning brain ability, and you think about the Matrix and Neo, right? This is where we are in control of where we're going, where we make our choices. And that is what directs our path, right? So tapping into that neocortex is all about learning. It's all about having these actions, right? That actually really dials in those chemicals to be able to shift the way your brain is working. It's easier than a lobotomy, I always say, trying to notice when we're having thoughts that aren't serving us, thoughts that are like someone else's voice, even, those thoughts of fear, those thoughts of those lower vibrational frequencies. The key is to get into, I always say, getting into acceptance. And then you're able to move up a little bit higher into those higher frequency vibrations. Now, getting into acceptance means taking accountability for how we're feeling, how we're acting, how we're reacting, what we're saying, noticing. Do I want to, even with my words, do I want to code these words into someone else? Especially when you think about, your kids and people that you're trying to teach or to raise to be functional human beings. We can sometimes be telling them or saying things that are actually going to create old patterns in them. So this gives us a chance to kind of do this ancestral change, this ancestral healing that's been coming up with our ancestors coming so close over the last little while. And it was fun. I was playing with my angel therapy cards, and two cards fell out of the deck right away. And the first one, which never really comes up, was parents. And the second one was mediumship. And it was like, parents, the divine truth is that your parents eternally love you to the best of their ability. The angels are helping you heal from any pain associated with your mother or father. And the mediumship one was, you have the natural ability to connect to departed loved ones. And I thought that was really cool, especially after seeing the eagle and having these thoughts about what I was going to really talk about tonight, to be able to sort of heal some of this ancestral stuff that has really been coming up for a lot of people over the last, especially the last month, just where Scorpio is sitting, and all the energies around that. It's about, it's about closing out chapters. It's about karma and consequences, right? When we think about having consequences for the way we've been acting, or the things that we've been doing, that can be, the consequences may be that we're just not allowing ourselves to really achieve what it is we want to achieve. It may just well be that we are the ones holding us back from where it is that we really want to go. So tapping into the things we know, like the brain states. So morning time, we know that we wake up from delta, deep sleep, we go into theta, which is kind of that light sleep, or when we're in a meditation. When we're in a meditation, when we're in theta state, our brain is much more highly adaptable to neuroplasticity. And what neuroplasticity is the change, the the breakdown and the buildup of proteins, to learn new things, to create new pathways in the brain. I did a challenge, a 21-day challenge, where we cleaned up the brain. It was a 21-day brain detox, which really allowed us to sort of focus on one particular limiting belief, clean that up in the brain, and sort of set in some new pathways. And they've shown in science that after 4 days of making choices and repeating something, you already start to create these neural pathways to change. So if we can do something for just 4 days, we often decide to do something and we do it for a day or two. That 4-day mark is a tough one to get to. And that's when the change starts to happen. But this is where resistance comes in. So resistance is going to come up that is going to stop us. And what is that resistance? This is old traumas. This is old beliefs. This is old patterns. These are the things that we've been operating on. This is that subconscious mind. And this is what we want to work to retrain. And it can be done. It can actually be done. And it becomes easier and easier with every day and every moment that we do it. So to really make that choice, to really want something, to really want to create something in your life. So I want you guys to think about something now that you really, really do want to create in your life. And something maybe even that your boundaries have been showing you lately about where they should be safely set up. Our boundaries may not have been so good in 93, 94. However, we have done a lot of work. We have been moving through, we have been coming up with all of these beautiful realizations, and these emotions and these feelings have been coming into our field so that we can actually feel them, so that we can actually work through them, so that we don't just escape into this unconscious state of not only fear, but that unconscious state of letting the subconscious run the show, those old habits, right? We can allow our conscious mind to really help us work the way we want to work. And this is Saturn's energy too. It's often about, how do we want our lives to work? How do we want to be seen, even in professional scenarios, relationships? How is it that we want to set up this new chapter? Because we are a bit of a new person coming into this whole, we're only, what is it, maybe 20 days away from going into Sagittarius, right? So before we get there, there's some stuff that kind of needs to be set up so that our boundaries are really clear going forward. This is setting up a new chapter. And this gives us, I keep on saying, this eclipse energy is like unending. This eclipse portal is still working. And for some astrologers, they say that it can go for months still, but the strongest is still within those couple weeks right after the eclipse portal closes. And we're right smack dab in the middle of that right now. We still have about 10 days until we have the new moon cycle to start this new chapter. So I feel like these next 10 days are really important in examining boundaries, really looking at how we want things to play out, how we want things to be, how we can make things last. Saturn is about lasting change. It's not about just, little things. It's about, with it being in Pisces, it's more about closures and endings, and how we can take responsibility and really choose to create what it is that we want. So if I was to ask you, what is something that you just really want to put out to the world, something that you really want to, hey, good evening, Samara, welcome. What is it that you really want to work on assimilating and integrating? Because that's what this whole chapter has been over this eclipse portal and kind of coming into this new energy right now. It's kind of about assimilating, like when that caterpillar is now starting to turn into the butterfly. Now it has to know how to be a butterfly. It only knows how to be a caterpillar. Does it just know? It does. It has this intuition. It follows nature. It goes where nature tells it to. It's not fighting it. It's not like, nope, all the other butterflies are going that way, but I'm going to go this way. allows itself to go with nature and to sort of follow its natural instincts to go a certain way. It's not, it doesn't, it just allows, right? And I guess this is what we can learn from a little bit to help us to be kind to ourselves, to help us to be a little gentle with ourselves, to help us notice what is becoming more clear for us, and some of these things that are really, we're feeling them stronger than we ever have before, kind of getting clearer on things that we want. Like, it's just like, if I was to ask you what you want, it's a little bit easier now to kind of say, oh, I want this, and I want that, and I want, it might not be, for some people it's a Porsche or a brand new house. For others, it's more like, I want more peace. I want, I want to enjoy each day for what it is. I want to take my energy back. I want to feel better. I want wellness through every cell of my body. And the thing is we can create this with our minds. We can absolutely create this. The biggest thing about energy versus the body and the mind is that the energy is what is sort of like the fuel and the food for ourselves. So our energy is what's creating the chemicals in our body. By just feeling and looking for the good things in life every day, that's releasing more oxytocin into our bodies. If we have more oxytocin in our brains, it can actually decrease pressure on our arteries. It does so many things for our body. It actually chemically starts giving us the fuel that it needs to feel more happy. If we're thinking in that sort of lower frequency area, if we tend to wake up and be like, not again, that is the food that our cells are getting and that our brain is getting. And so it's going to give us the chemicals to help us find more of that. And so we're not going to have the serotonin. We're not going to have that. We're going to have more cortisol. We're going to have more. Think about if your body is in stress state or in a fight or flight state, what kind of chemicals are being produced then? Your body becomes dependent on those. We become addicted to those chemicals. So we can choose to become addicted to different chemicals. We can choose to become addicted to finding the good things in life, to start waking up and start feeling like we really want to choose life, like we really want to choose to feed and fuel ourselves with everything good. Like, it may just be that we actually get a meal plan going, or get some ideas from someone that is in nutrition or training, or maybe it's even a little online course we take that's just going to fuel us to learn something, to start treating ourselves right, to start, maybe you always wanted to do French cooking and now's the time, who knows? It could just be that we allow ourselves to follow some of these intuitive draws that will help us to tap into that neocortex a little bit more, tap into those brain states. So morning and night are the strongest time, where our theta states are just naturally the strongest, where neuroplasticity can happen the easiest. So why not hack into those times, right? Think of things that you're grateful for. Gratitude will bring you there immediately. And I know you guys know this, but thinking about something that you're grateful for, like I've said, even on Wednesday, you can think about, how much your husband's driving you crazy, or you can think about how much you couldn't bear to not have him there anymore, like to really appreciate having what we do in our lives, but just truly wanting more. Making that conscious choice to give some energy to a friend who needs it, to give some love. We can give some love. It doesn't have to be to the husband, but it can be to whoever. It can be to our animals, right? It can be to just share that love, to allow ourselves to feel that. A lot of times we're too afraid to feel good because we don't want the opposite, right? We're too afraid to succeed because we're afraid that we're going to fail. So it stops us. So one of the beautiful things about rewiring the brain is we can do it with a recode, which is literally just allowing us to talk to our subconscious mind, our conscious mind, and our superconscious mind, which is the field where everything lives. All of the memories, all of the events, all of the things that have caused us to feel certain ways in the beginning, all of these things are in this superconscious field where we can tap into, and we can choose which patterns and which programs we want to run on. And this is where the magic starts to happen, is by choosing that. If we're waking up in the morning and choosing to look for all the amazing things in the day, you're going to likely have something coincidental or synchronistic happen that as early in the morning. It can happen instantly, literally, like I was talking about that parking spot, happened within minutes, like seconds even. And with a lot of you, I know you've manifested that quickly, because we've even been talking about things and it happens. It's you see it more and more. And as we start to choose who it is that we want to really become, who it is that we really want to um, be in this lifetime, we get that power back. We get to empower ourselves with our own brain energy, with our own brain chemistry. We have that power. We don't think we do sometimes if we are settled into those lower frequency vibrations. But the more we spend being accountable, going into acceptance, this is where things are now, but this is what I want to create. How can I change? What can I do to change this? And then actually following through on that, taking that action step, really rewires those neural pathways. Technically, it takes a few weeks for all of the proteins and dendrites and all of the ways that the brain can actually create this pathway. It doesn't happen instantly, but it does over a few days start to really make that change and that pathway happen in the brain. They've done brain scans where people are learning to play piano just in their mind. They're not even touching keys, and they're able to form these pathways to be able to actually have that once they get in front of a piano, they can just literally put their hands on it and start playing. It's absolutely amazing. How do you think we learn new languages, right? How do you think we learned how to walk in the first place? This is how our subconscious mind was programmed. Now it can do walking without even thinking about it, just like positive thoughts. If we really are paying attention and choosing to change the way that we're thinking, if this is what we really want, if we really want to feel better, if we really want those chemicals flowing through, maybe we don't want it. There's a lot of times where sometimes we just don't want it. But if we really want it, but resistance is popping in and keeping us from it, but we know we're meant for it, and we're still doing the same thing after a few years, and we still, really are feeling certain ways. Everybody has different pathways. Everybody has different skills. Everybody has a different reason for being here. But when we allow ourselves to follow our true nature and purpose, and allow our souls to expand and allow ourselves to feel good and even enjoy life, it really becomes magical, because those chemicals are starting to get produced so much more in the brain. It'll help you to be able to truly rewire your brain. So I would love to do a meditation with you guys, just guide you through a little meditation where we're going to call some of our energy back that we have over given, over stressed, over, sometimes we actually disempower other people when we're trying to control everything, and we're trying to make sure everybody's okay, when we're following our subconscious, our ego mind saying that, there can't be conflict, there can't be this, there can't be that, and we are the ones that try and fix it all. We're sometimes taking some of that power away from other people, because they can all fix themselves if they want to, right? But we step in and do it for them, or tell them the way it is. This is, I think, where that teacher card comes in, is to know how to teach people to empower themselves by perhaps stepping back a little bit and not doing everything for them, allowing ourselves to take care of ourselves for a change, which seems, for some, it seems so selfish because we're always told not to. But it's in fact the thing that we can do to be the least selfish, is to really, what if our cup isn't full, what do we have to give? We're just giving shit, we're I don't know where that came from. But when our cup is full, we are inspired to be doing things like this. We are inspired to make that change happen in our lives, to make life better for ourselves and those around us in such a clean and pure way. So I have before had you guys play with a bit of an energy ball. And so this is something that we're going to do. What we're going to do is connect into our breath, get into a little bit of a meditation, and we're going to feel that energy ball in our hands. I can already feel it. And I'm going to direct you guys to pulse that energy ball. And what that will mean is almost feel as though you have this ball in your hand and you can kind of like expand it. You can make it grow. You can receive it. So when we're in meditation, I'm just going to say, put your hands out. So basically just have your elbows at your sides relaxed, just have your palms up in a receiving manner. And we're going to place a big energy ball in there. Oh, my hands are just hot. I love this. So I am just going to guide us through. I'd love it if you guys just connected with your seat wherever you are, get into a comfortable position where you can be for 15, 20 minutes, where you can just relax as much as humanly possible. Close out any distractions that might be around, close doors, and just get yourself as comfortable as you can. And I want you to just imagine that you are on the top of a beautiful mountaintop. Imagine what it would feel like to be transported in time up to a gorgeous mountain peak. This mountain peak is literally the tip of the iceberg. This is on top of this gorgeous mountain that has all of the knowledge, all of the wisdom that we seek underneath us, underneath our feet, grounded in. And just connect with your breath right now. I want you to feel the breath coming in and out of your body. So as you take a deep breath in through your nose, feel your belly expand, feel your chest expand, feel your shoulders go back, straighten out your back a little bit. Just allow that energy to start moving through your body. And as you take that breath in, imagine that the universe is almost blowing into your lungs, giving you its energy. And as you take that breath out through your mouth, imagine like you're blowing on a dandelion. And just choose to release anything in your body that's ready to be released right now. Allow yourself to just connect with your breath for just a minute. Breathing in, noticing the temperature. Does it feel cool going in your nose? Does it feel warm? Does it feel like it's expanding through your body? Does it feel like it could be coming from the universe? Does it feel like there's an extra push of that beautiful universal energy coming into your lungs? And as you breathe out, again, just releasing any old dense air, any times that you felt anything scary or anything fearful. We're just releasing the whole day right now. We're releasing the whole week. We're releasing this whole eclipse portal, just allowing that energy to move through our body. And imagine that there's a big ball of light above you, above your head, that's starting to shine down and just starting to open up this big column of light throughout the middle of your body. And it shoots all the way down from the top of your head to your face and your neck and your chest and your belly. And it's starting to reach down through your pelvis and down through your legs and down through your knees and down through the feet. And I want you to feel the middle, the palms of your feet, the bottoms of your feet start to relax. And as those parts of your feet start to relax, I want you to imagine little roots growing down into the earth, being able to tap in to the earth's codes, the earth's matrix, the light codes, the beautiful energy, the revised edition of who you are and who you want to be, who you're ready to become, what you're ready to create in your life. And imagine a big ball of light shooting down through those roots, just enlightening any codes, giving direction to Mother Earth about what it is that you're wanting to create in your life. And I want you to really step into this vision right now of what it is you'd like to create more balance in your life around, what you'd like to create more of in your life, more health, maybe more wellness, maybe more energy, maybe more abundance, maybe more peace and harmony, happiness, joy, laughter, euphoria, anticipation. My body's just releasing. And just allow yourself to start feeling what it would feel like to have more of that in your life, to really actually feel what it would feel like to allow that into your life, like an open stream, almost like this energy is coming from within this mountain that you're standing on top of. Notice what's around you. Are there trees? Is it ice capped? Does it feel barren? Does it feel warm? Does it feel cool? Maybe you can see the landscape around you like you've never seen before, forests and trees, waterfalls, birds, nature. What does it sound like on the top of a mountain? What does it smell like on the top of a mountain? Does it smell like moisture? Does it smell like trees? Does it smell like ice? What do you smell as you're standing on the top of the mountain, being able to see so far around you? And notice that you have likely been climbing this mountain for a long time, and you're at the top now, getting to choose what it is that you want. This is your time. I want you to allow yourself to feel as though your hands are starting to warm up to receiving some energy back. All of these energy draws that you've had, perhaps people, places, things, events, experiences that have drawn your energy away, groups of friends, single people. The first things that come into your field right now that you're seeing, that you're ready to start taking your energy back from, I want you to put your hands into receiving mode so that your palms are up. And I want you to imagine right now that there's a ball of energy that's between your palms. It's like it's sitting like a nice big ball. It's sitting right on your hands. You have full control over it. How does that energy ball feel? Does it feel warm? If you were to put a color to it, does it have a color, or could it possibly be so translucent and clear it's like a bubble? You can see rainbow colors, but it's not just one color, it's many colors. All of these things that have been having streams of energy flow out of this ball. I want you to imagine these streams of energy coming from this ball and being connected to those sources where you've given too much, those sources where you've overextended, those sources where you've maybe even had some of it taken away, where you felt like you were powerless. Allow right now for those streams of energy to be called back into this beautiful ball of energy, and notice if there's colors that are attached to those streams. It's almost like this stream of liquid or smoke, kind of like it's the ethers, it's energy. It's this field, this line that is still connected to some of these people. And choose now, either say to yourself out loud or in your head, I choose to call back the energies that have been draining from my body, that I unknowingly gave away. I call them all back now. I call all energies back to me to refill my cup, to refuel my life, to refuel my fire, to relight my fire, drawing all of these energies back. I'm going to ask now that you choose to forgive. I want you to choose to forgive someone, the first person, the first maybe group, the first person that comes up in your field, the first person that just dropped in right now when I said forgiveness, someone that you need to just do some healing with, for them, for you. And just choose to feel the feeling of forgiveness towards them. Actually make that choice, that conscious rewiring of this relationship, and bring forgiveness in, making this your default program with them. Maybe it's even yourself. Choosing to forgive yourself for maybe not holding true before, for maybe making decisions, for even some stupid things that we've done. Just choose to forgive right now. Whatever that may be, you may not even know what it is, but choosing forgiveness and choosing to allow this is literally creating this in your field, creating this neural pathway around these traumas, around these events. And if you guys are okay with me connecting with your superconscious, which it feels like it is, I'd like to ask this superconscious field to create a treatment program, a treatment plan, bringing us to our whole selves, our true authentic selves, allowing us to be who we are, to be truly who we are, untamable, limitless, to be our true authentic self. And we're going to ask that all parts that have been defragmented over time with the traumas, with the events, with ancestors, with limiting beliefs, any of those parts of us, we're going to ask them to come back to our energy ball, to literally join us right now, creating a beautiful treatment plan, bringing all of our parts on board, knowing all of this wisdom stays within the mountain underneath us. All of that wisdom is there. It's our choice to stand on top of it or go below within the muck. And we've climbed this far. We've gotten this far. We are at the top of this mountain. We are there with our true choice of what we really want to be, what we really want to create, what we're really ready to change in our lives. But we've had that inkling, that feeling, what we really are ready for. And I want you to feel how it feels in your energy ball. Does that energy ball feel like it's getting a little bit bigger, maybe even a little bit heavier, maybe in a way you're able to manipulate it and move it? And I want you to allow yourself to feel this energy start to come back into your body, through your forearms, through the palms of your hands. Let the palms of your hands relax and let this energy just start to flow in. Notice the colors that may be coming into your body. Imagining that there's a sunset coming down off this mountain. You can see if you're facing the right direction. You can see some beautiful sunset colors, some reds, some orange that are starting to come through your body, move through your forearms, down into those lower energy centers of the body, the root, the sacral plexus, the solar plexus. All of those energies that are starting to be replenished throughout the body, starting to be called back. And imagine that energy ball now bringing a beautiful green color into your heart. Allowing that heart chakra and that brain to come into coherence, to be in this theta state together, to choose your now default program of joy, of happiness, of abundance, of clarity, peace, harmony, abundance, prosperity, gratitude. And feeling so grateful for being able to call some of this energy back, I want you to imagine that moving up into your throat and notice the blue coloration that's coming from this energy ball up your hands, through your forearms and your arms and your shoulders, moving directly into your throat and your jaw, your lower face, your neck. Allowing that light to heal and come back. Feeling that ball of energy start to grow and start to pump a beautiful indigo color up into your brain, cleansing, healing, purifying the whole brain, the third eye. Mine's itchy right now, feeling it open. Allowing yourself to picture this new version of who you could really become. Feeling that badass Saturn energy, Scorpio energy start to really envelop your whole body. Who you really are, who you're ready to be, who you're ready to show the world and yourself. And allow that light to turn to a pure white as it moves through your forearms and your hands up into the top of your head, and imagine it washing over your whole body, cleansing and clearing you, giving you that divine connection again. Noticing any worries right now that are coming up, noticing any resistance that's coming up. Super conscious, please tag and treat all of that resistance to creating these changes, these lasting changes, and rewiring the brain and doing a massive change history around that. Releasing any emotions of guilt, of shame, of jealousy, of judgment, allowing these to just be released from our field. Noticing they're not serving us, noticing they won't be serving us, moving forward. Taking a nice deep breath out and allowing that to release deep down through your roots, through your feet, down deep into that mountain, placing all of that energy, any of those feelings, releasing them, letting them go, down through the feet, letting Mother Earth take care of any of those lower vibration frequencies and recycling them. And drawing more energy and light from this beautiful energy ball in your hands. And notice how it feels now. Is it taking on one color more than the other? Imagine this ball changing into this beautiful gold orb that you now have in your hands. And I want you to imagine this gold orb having the ability to be magnetically drawn to anywhere in your body that needs a little bit of extra healing, a little bit of extra repair, a little bit of extra exchange. Place this ball into your shoulder or into your throat, wherever you're feeling that disruption, that tension, any tension in your body, any discomfort in your body. Allow yourself to just take that gold ball and place it in that area. You can feel it down into the low back. Allow that gold ball to move down into the lower pelvis and into that SI joint, into those areas in the low back that need a little bit of healing. Allow that gold light to just stay there. That ball is just doing its work. And super conscious, tag and treat any areas of the body, any systems, musculoskeletal, soft tissues, bursas, cartilage, ligaments, any of that connective tissue in between joints, discs, reducing pressure, just allowing this pressure to release from the body and doing a massive change history on any body systems. And just notice if that pain actually just dissipated. If you can't feel it anymore, move it to the next spot, an area that's been just bugging you a little bit, that's been acting up. Maybe it's the knees, maybe it's the feet, maybe there's been a stiff neck, a headache. Allow this gold ball to now be moved to any of those areas that need a little bit of extra healing. We're just going to ask that the superconscious tags any of the events, the experiences in the past that we're drawing that energy out that can now be healed, turned into light, turned into wisdom, seeing the truth. The truth is going to be shown. Truth is going to be shown around relationships. Truth is going to be shown, and you'll be ready for it. It won't be so shocking. You'll just be understanding that this had to happen now. It's all for the greater good. And tagging and treating any of those limiting beliefs, anything that's making resistance in towards what we just want to create, any resistance around not feeling worthy or feeling good enough, not feeling capable, not wanting to create conflict, not having it perfect, or not feeling like we know enough, tagging and treating all of those limiting beliefs, doing a massive change history around any of those. And I want you to just breathe in as you feel yourself on top of that mountain, as you feel this exchange happening through your body. Bring that gold ball back into your hands and notice that this is something that you can tap into anytime. This has the new codes. This has the light codes. This has the energy back. And I want you to bring this ball into your heart. Literally allow yourself to push that ball into your heart. Taking a nice deep breath as you imagine yourself just standing on top of this mountain as a whole self, as all of the parts of you that were defragmented come back in to create this life that you really love, creating wellness in every breath, creating empowerment, knowing you have the ability to choose, playing this game, and allowing yourself to be your true authentic self, your true whole self, the one that has been screaming to be heard. Taking a nice receiving breath. When you're ready, you can come back into your body. Feeling as though you are an anchor. You are a strong anchor. You're grounded into this beautiful mountain energy. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with is one of the cards I had pulled for a client this week, which was a beautiful card that I hadn't pulled for a while either. I've been branching into some of the decks I don't usually deal with. Sometimes I get away from it completely, and sometimes I tend to utilize the cards. One of them was God Box, and this is where we can truly allow that connection to source energy, allow that connection to these ascended masters that we brought in with us today. And really allowing yourself to take any worries or maybe any prayers and write them down. And you can have a little like ornate box that you might use. I have this jar that I made in pottery a long time ago that I've been putting my notes and stuff in, and I've been putting some coins in for abundance, and I've been having some fun with making this my little God box. And when I have things that are on my brain that are worrisome, or that you kind of want to just sort of hand over to God and let it be, or let it go, these things, it's like, how do you let it go? One way to let it go is to write it down, put it in a little God box, and then at the end of the week you can burn them all, or you can look through and you can be like, wow, that actually, I didn't really worry about that again after I put it in, or if you want some healing with someone, or if you want some healing for the universe, for the world right now, for all of this astrological energy that's going, for these people that are going through these breakdowns, that are going to try medicating themselves this month and not doing any work, and coming to the end of the month and being like, fuck, this is not where I wanted to be. Nothing's better. Nothing's fixed. We don't have to go there. We can go the breakthrough route. We can make these choices and make these decisions and empower ourselves and choose what it is that we want to really create in our life, and allow ourselves to finally be able to create this. So yeah, the God box. I don't know, I was inspired. I wasn't going to say anything about that because it was their session, but it was a really fun one. And you can use basically anything. You don't even have to use a box. You can literally write it down and choose to garberate it, throw it in the garbage, throw it in the fire, whatever you want to do to help you be able to move through that. I love it. I got a message I got in the chat there. It says I'm inspired. I love that, because you know what? Today I just felt like I really just want to spread some love and some joy, and I want to inspire people to keep going. I want to inspire people to stay true to who you really know you are. And I want you to feel that power that you have inside of you, because day by day, not every day do we feel powerful. In fact, this morning I didn't feel powerful. But as I made the choice to, like, honestly, there was a point this morning where I felt so crappy. It was like, I don't even know if I should do a session today, And as I made the choice to actually do it, that was when everything shifted and my day just started going fucking fantastic. It just started going so good. And it's just been getting better and better. And I'm excited to just see how I still have a few hours left. I'm heading out to pick up my daughter. It'll be like, oh, I wonder what else I can see and experience and fun. It's amazing. So I appreciate that you guys were here today, and hopefully that was inspiring and maybe cleansing for some of you. If anybody wants the replay for this because you missed the first half and you're not in my inner circle group that has it live streaming right now, let me know and I will make sure it's also in the Magnetic Soul Life Coaching group. So it's in the guides there. It'll be there. I'll download it and have it all uploaded by the time I get home this evening. I'm seeing some of the chats. There's a mushroom on there, and that's one of the things that kind of inspired me to talk about this whole rewiring the brain. Is a lot of people are doing plant medicines right now and getting into, whether it's ayahuasca or mushrooms and this kind of thing, and they're expecting this huge light to come on and everything to change. But what happens is you can end up tapping into some different levels of consciousness, and it may not be super extreme. They may be even disappointed at a cacao ceremony because their whole life didn't change. But this is kind of like everything else right now. If you're wanting to do some of that sometime. Oh, awesome, Heather, that's great. I was wondering because I have a girlfriend too named Charlene. I thought maybe it was her, so that's beautiful. I really feel inspired to tell you to go for it. A lot of people are doing plant medicines right now just because of this huge Kundalini energy that's been released with this root chakra opening up, and a lot of people are really sort of going after this enlightenment. And so if you have any questions, or if you have anything that you want to talk about around that, that's something that I might dive into a little bit more next week. But definitely know that this is a time for like really seeing what's going on. And if you are opening yourself up to that, allow that to happen, and don't, be expecting everything to be like life. It's like noticing those little things. Again, these ceremonies, these things where I think a lot of us are ready for certain things. It's almost like asking for your indigenous name. Like here, you can see an elder if you are in the indigenous community. They have a, like a basically your name, right? You get a namesake. This is kind of like you could ask for it, but are you ready for it? And this is kind of like we're almost asking for some of this, and I think a lot of us are ready for this next level of seeing some of these things. And this is a very good time because so many people are doing it collectively to really get some gains and some profound aha moments. So might be kind of fun if people are into that kind of thing. But I don't know, I was inspired when I saw the little mushroom emoji. I was like, oh yeah, I was going to talk about that. The plant medicines are big this month. It's just coming up. So I love you guys. Thank you. You're so sweet. All right, everybody. I am going to let you get on with your weekend and your evening. Have a beautiful one. And I love you guys so much too. And I can't wait till the new moon meditation next Friday. And we'll see you guys in group on Wednesday. Mwah. Have a great evening, everybody. Bye.